What's up, everybody? This is episode 8. Episode 8.
Correct.
And we are progressing in Stav's 12-valve VR6, big turbo, fully built. Going to be slower than the 24-valve VR6 build.
787,312 wheel, 12-valve VR6.
Stav, what do you got in your hand?
Well, another mess up of stuff. You know, another mess up of stuff. So one thing with the 12-valve VR6 swap, and this is great. So I'll show you guys right here, is the difference in the timing covers. If
Hold
you
them up straight so you can
kind of see.
I'll hold one. You hold one.
Yeah. Well, it's basically, if you see the difference right here in this timing cover, this is a Mark III cover. This happens to be a Mark IV cover. Now,
that Mark IV cover has an indentation.
Correct. So now for guys that are doing longitude swap, this is pretty important because what happens is there's two ways you can go about it. You could either use a Mark IV style timing cover, or you could recess on the transmission. You do like a little grind here.
So which valve cover would go for which transmission?
So right now, the way it sits, the way my car was before, I had a Mark III cover, and we recessed the top of the transmission.
Got it.
Correct.
So someone grinded the clearance on the bell housing to get that to fit rather than changing that out.
And, you know, honestly, it's been so long, I honestly forgot about this. And it's funny because when people ask you, hey, I want to do a VR swap, what motor should I use? I always tell people AFP Mark IV block because of the reason of the timing cover. But yesterday when we did our video, one of our friends watched the video, Christopher Vazio. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Greek name, we get it mispronounced all the time. But basically, he told me, he's like, hey man, it's not going to work with your new transmission. I was like, hey, like it was like 4 o'clock in the morning when he hits me up. I'm like, why wouldn't it work? He's like, well, because you're using a Mark III, you're going to have to modify the bell housing of the transmission. So this one that cracked on us, I ended up getting it professionally repaired locally here today. It got welded, and it's It's going to be good to go. So
what's something else that we checked too? We had a guy named Jamie reach out, and he was saying something about a bolt on the back of the motor.
Yeah. Well, one of the the upper guides has a bolt. The Mark III and Mark IV have two different style ones. This happens to be a Mark IV one, so it's recessed.
The Mark III one would stick out a little bit
Correct,
more.
and it would crack in the same area that this one cracked in.
Okay, so it's a good thing that we checked.
Yeah,
appreciate you reaching out, Jamie. Thanks for that.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I mean, you know, one thing is we're not experts. We do play one on YouTube, but we do make mistakes from time to time. George makes more mistakes than I do. I just want to throw that out there, to be fair. So today we're going to put the timing covers on and get the motor completely sealed up and made it with the transmission.
And then the clutch and the flywheel install.
Well,
before we made it to the transmission. And what clutch and flywheel are you going with again?
I'm going to go with the TILTON 24-valve VR6 one that George used last time. It's the 034 flywheel with a TILTON twin disc. George took it off his car because his car didn't make enough power to rotate that flywheel. Now it's
Shut up. All right, anyway, so we're going to finish buttoning up the back of this motor. We're going to install the timing cover.
Correct.
We had to remove the top to properly install the bottom.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put on the clutch, the flywheel, and then made it to the transmission.
Correct.
And if we have enough time, I'd like to drop the motor and the trans in the car. So tomorrow, all we have to do is just start buttoning everything up. Oh,
Correct.
And before we do that, we're going to swap out your axles real quick on the front.
Correct. We're going to swap out to the DSS axles, another component that's stronger for only 12-valve cars because they make so much torque.
I'm going to cut this off short. All right, guys, without further ado, this is Stav's build part 8.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have it in the car by the end of this video. And then tomorrow, buttoning it up with tomorrow's video, firing. So I'm actually pretty excited. Actually, scratch that. Tomorrow's video is going to be Thursday. It's going to be this video.
Correct.
It'll be Friday's video, morning, that you'll be seeing firing up.
Correct.
Wish us luck. See you guys in a bit.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything, fire spreading.
All right, so timing covers are on. We have to swap out for the silver one because it's faster. It's going to provide more power, right?
No.
Anyway, the gold upper timing cover had some issues with these two receptacles, so we had to swap it out. Luckily, Stav had some spares. And ironically, they're both silver. He even had the old one repaired this morning and welded and fixed.
Yep.
And then the silver adapter plate, man, this is beginning to be a theme. Silver head, silver, silver.
I really want the gold adapter plate, but somebody broke it last time. And that one, we do have video evidence that it was you this time.
We'll see if you're able to provide that evidence. We'll see.
Yeah.
But right now, the jury's out. So we got pretty much the back side of the motor ready to go. We are ready to install the flywheel, ready to install the clutch.
I wanted to show you guys on the adapter plate for the VR6 swap. A lot of people are asking, like, how do you mount it up? We on this one, just for the mock-up plate, I use 3 bolts. I have 1 bolt here. I have 1 bolt that I pre-drilled, which the let's see, the adapter plate right here does not come drilled. But there's a revision on the block right there. That's a M10 by 1.25. So I drill a hole here, and I usually use that for a lineup.
Yeah, but you also end up putting a bolt in the back, right?
No, not the block has
threaded.
Threads. Yeah,
okay, perfect.
The block is threaded, yeah. And then I use 1 more bolt, which is an M8 by 1.25 from the back here of the oil pan to the adapter plate.
Cool.
Just wanted to show you guys because the people do ask about that, and the VR5
and let's look at the part number for the adapter plate too. People always ask. It's a factory part, guys. It's not custom. If you guys wanted to do this swap, it is totally feasible with stock parts. So check that out right there. You could probably find the parts really cheap on eBay UK or eBay DE.
So this part is a factory part, just like my CAE shifter, which is not custom, George.
So for those of you guys that are always messaging us as how we're mating the actual transmission to the motor, it's using a factory part that came on the Phaeton, which never came to the States. It only came in Europe and the UK. It also came on the VR5, which is the 5-cylinder version of the VR6. I'm gonna throw up a picture real quick of how that looks. It actually came in the B5 Passat, which look pretty badass.
Cool.
But those parts, along with the driver side and passenger side brackets, ended up using in the 24 valve VR6, not so much on the 12
Nobody
valve.
cares about 24 valve. Let's keep it moving.
But anyway, we got this pretty much done. We're gonna go over here to the flywheel. I'm gonna start assembling the clutch. Already got the alignment tool ready to go. And then once we assemble the clutch on here, we're gonna install it onto the back of the motor.
Just wanna be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got 1 too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the 4-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing.
All right, George. Now that you have the ability to work on powerful motors like a 12 valve here, and I certified you today. Did I not certify you?
Yeah, I definitely got my Harbor Freight certification today.
I appreciate it. Harbor
It's
Freight.
2 hours requirement, and I just need a pencil to sign up. So
Pencil. So what are we doing here?
I'm just snugging up the clutch plate now, the actual clutch cover to the flywheel. We installed the flywheel, we torqued it. We ended up installing the adapter plate too. Now we're gonna actually have to torque the actual clutch. I think I gotta take a look at TILTON's website, but I think it's like 19 or 20 foot-pounds. I gotta double check, but we'll end up torquing this up. We got the alignment tool in here, and what I was telling you before is a lot of people like using spare input shafts from transmissions as alignment tools.
That would be the end result anyway.
This ended up coming with the clutch kit, and it's no problem, but it's still plastic and it still wiggles a little bit. So I don't know, maybe using an actual input shaft would be better if we're looking for actual precise installment. I don't know. But things are looking pretty good. Timing covers aligned, everything bolted up. Look, the 2 bottom bolts line up too now, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We ended up using gray silicone, so a nuclear explosion couldn't get through those timing covers now.
Correct. 'Cause before we used black silicone.
Yeah, we did, but I think we had an issue with the timing covers. I think we had, man, it was just, we threw the motor together over, it took us 8 hours, and then you drove to a show, and then we left the car as is, and then you just rocked it like that for 2 or 3 months. So we're actually spending a lot more time and focusing on this car.
The prior setup had a head gasket spacer, which
True.
some people do have issues. But, you know, again, it could be our issue, could be the head gasket spacer.
And there is no head gasket spacer now that you're running a
Correct.
fully forged, fully built motor. So now it's just an actual head gasket, and then you're good to go.
So, so everyone's asking. I mean, we got so many people on YouTube asking. I mean, what's going on? So when I beat you with the stock block motor, I mean, you were very upset. I mean, you didn't take it very well.
Listen, all joking, all joking aside, we didn't legitimately race.
Okay.
Stav did a racer flyby on me, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, I mean, whatever you want to call the gappage, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But when I did that race, right? I mean, and then you called up your tuner, you're like, hey man, I need to turn up the boost, right? What are you gonna do now, George?
Well, I'm really I won't lie to you. All joking aside, I know we like to kind of rag on each other. I'm really excited about you getting this car together, seeing what kind of power we can make, getting this car going. I want to install the DSS axles for you, so this is where we can get your OEM axles out because the boots are ripped too.
Correct.
So this car is going to boogie, and then we're going to be talking not on, was this part 8?
7.
No, this is part 8.
This is 7.99.
No, this is part 8. So actually, I think in part 11 or 12, this is long after probably the car's running already. We're going to be talking about the drive shaft, and then we're going to talk about the rear diff, which a lot of people have emailed. We kind of hinted at it on part 5 and 6. We have 15 emails from people, and then a whole bunch of Facebook private messages. What rear diff are you using? What this? Hey, listen, it's really simple, but it's really cool. I'm not going to say which because I don't want to ruin Stav's surprise, but we got some things in the works for this car.
When people ask me, they're like, hey man, you tell me, I'll never tell anybody.
We'll share it with everybody here, and we'll give you guys a heads up. There are cars in Europe running them going low 9s, and it's a factory part. So I'm really excited about getting these in. The only thing that's going to require, I think, is a custom drive shaft.
Is it a factory part?
We're not going to say yet.
Honda Civic, no.
we're not going to say yet, but we've got a lot done. We made a lot of progress. The motor is essentially ready now to be mated to the trans and then literally dropped in. That's the only thing that we have to do is get the trans on and then drop it in the car.
With this new setup, we can use the Malaka MotorSports clutch tops.
Yes, correct. Yes,
correct.
And that's something that we can talk about on the next episode that we're going to install in your car. So running a twin disc setup, and we've tailored our clutch stops now that a lot of people with Supras and other places have reached out that are running them now. It changes the throw and the extension actually of the clutch and how far out for engagement you need. And going too far out in a twin disc, because now this takes up more depth inside the flywheel, inside the bell housing, now you're in danger of blowing your pressure plate and forks out. So we didn't really develop, but we took some basic measurements and we made this cool little box. I don't even think we have it here, but we'll show it on the next episode. It's a little clutch stop. We mainly made it for the B5 Audis, for guys running to one twin. I think we've sold like 180 of those little things already across the world. So we'll feature that on the next episode, but that we're going to be running on Stav's car, and I'm really excited.
For you, George, I'm going to run a silver one because I like kicking silver things. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. Well, I think that's about does it. That's about wraps it up. This is Stav's build part 7, part 7,
part 8,
part 8.
Part 8, George. Part 8. It's been so many parts, we can't even keep track of this.
We ended up going back. So did we start over? Are we on part 4 again? Like what's going on?
Once we hit 10, we go back to 1.
Guys, as always, we appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate the support, and we just want to throw something out there too. If you guys haven't seen, Philip out from Hanover unfortunately had a mishap with his vehicle, his B5, legendary wide body car, something that we've been following for years. Unfortunately, the vehicle was a total loss, but luckily he's okay, and that's the most important thing. If you haven't already, check Phillips out. We'll leave a link in the description. You guys can check out his YouTube channel. If you guys got some subtitles on your TV, you guys can actually understand German when he speaks it. But it's really hard.
Deutsch.
It's really heartbreaking seeing what he went through and how long the journey has been and how he feels about it. So check it out, Philip. We feel for you, man. We've been following your setup for quite some time, and that's the whole reason why we've been modifying these cars and going crazy is chasing cars like that. So hopefully we get to see him in another B5 soon. Maybe he gets to build another wide body.
I feel like he might very soon.
All right, guys.
Don't go silver. Don't go silver.
Episode 8, that's a wrap. I'm George.
I'm Stav.
This is Malaka Motorsports. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next on episode 9.